Welcome back to the Lost Boyz Podcast, episode 19. This is 19 weeks in.
Yeah.
I feel like every episode we talk about how long it's been.
Yeah. I forgot it was 19. I was about to say 18.
I only know just because I was looking at the last episode recently, so I was like, hey, 19. But nah, we have a good one today. Everyone's a good one. Ignore what I'm saying. Today we're talking about you are exactly where you deserve to be. That's something not a lot of people want to hear, because I feel like 12 in 10 people aren't happy with their situation.
12 in 10. Perfect odds.
Yeah. Listen, to a quick summary before we get started. First, follow the channel, subscribe, do the post notification bell thing. It feels so weird me saying it this time around. Man, if you don't pick this shit up and you start saying it.
Like, comment, subscribe, turn the post notifications on so you can see when we post every Thursday at 12 p.m. Comment down below any suggestions or comments or ideas or anything you may have. Even if you try to roast me, try. It's not going to work. Follow us on Instagram as well. Our social medias are down below in the description. Follow the TikTok as well, the Lost Boyz Podcast. And share this with your mother.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot to say to her. No, that felt so weird, me saying that part. I was like, I feel like we're like 19 episodes in. You've been saying it every episode. I started saying that, and my muscles were like, wait a goddamn minute.
I was just letting it rock. I was like, let's see how well he does.
I was like, no, this don't feel right. But now that we got the socials out the way, quick summary for today's episode is just going to be more so talking about if you look at your current situation in life and feel like you want to blame somebody, just know the blame is 100% on you.
Yep. I feel like all of our episodes all kind of tie in together. So like they all kind of connect.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one is when we're going to get into it more, but it's like a perfect example of taking accountability.
Absolutely.
Which we've spoken about in the past.
Common theme on this podcast is like self-awareness, accountability, taking risks. You got to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. It's like different topics, but they all have like pretty much the same meaning behind them. Just different, I don't know.
And I think a lot of the things we talk about are like relevant to like things we're facing in life.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like we're really talking to ourselves, and it just so happens people watch it.
Absolutely.
Like it's like, oh, you watch it? Cool. It was really just for me though.
Like I said, this podcast, I said it like a few episodes ago, this shit's a documentary, man.
Yeah.
Ultimately what it is, because one day when we're recording and there's like Miami in the background and it's a dope set, it's going to be like, that's 100% where we deserve to be because we put in the work today.
Exactly.
Nah. Let's get into the first topic here. The first thing I wrote down is where you are today. I don't remember if I said this already or not. Is just the 1 + 1 + 1 of all your past decisions. Like we discussed off camera, whatever it is you're complaining about, you made the decision to do that. You made the decision to have that happen. For example, if you're complaining about money, right, your financial situation, like I said, nobody spends my money but me. Nobody spends your money but you and the government. But shout out taxes. But ultimately, nobody's forcing you to do anything. If you want to keep eating McDonald's and keep spending money out, but you're wondering why you don't have the money at the end of the week, or if you're not going to the gym and you're wondering why your body is the way that it is, those are your decisions.
100%. I agree. I think everything's a choice at the end of the day. And you can make an excuse all you want for your circumstance, but at some point, it's your fault. Granted, if you're a little kid, you don't have much control over that. But once you're an adult and you can work and provide for yourself, and you have the ability to do that, it's all your fault. 100% of it is your fault. You don't like how you look, or you think you're overweight because you're depressed. that's still your fault. Like, it's no one else's fault but yours. You can still go to the gym. You can still do other things to go around that or like change that. If you like you were saying, if you're broke, it's also your fault. You're making a choice to be broke. You could just not be broke by just working more or working harder or trying things instead of saying, no, I can't because I have this, and this. So I'm not even going to bother to try because I disqualified the ability to not be broke without even trying just because I think of this, and this.
You just put an idea in my head, right? And this is obviously a spur of the moment freestyled idea, so there might be some nuances with this, but the whole idea of like, oh, I'm broke because of X, Y, and Z, or like, or when people say, oh, this country, like I'm broke because of the United States or anything like that, it's like, no, the country actually wants you to have money because the more money you have, the more money you're going to spend.
Exactly.
The more money you make, the more taxes you're going to pay. So it's not in the best interest of the country for you to be broke. Maybe the credit card company, sure, but like other than that, in the grand scheme of things, nobody's looking at you like, oh, I need this person to be broke. It's either your course of action, your spending habits, your guilty pleasures for everybody who goes shopping every 2 days because they need to feel better. Retail therapy is a real fucking thing. Like, this country needs you to have money because it needs money to be spent.
Yeah, that's true. That's how the economy goes. That's why inflation is a bad thing, because not as many people are spending money, so the economy takes a hit for it. But when the money's good, everybody's spending money, and the economy's great.
That's why the stimulus checks were a thing.
Yeah,
they're giving you money so you can spend money and stimulate the economy.
Literally, literally, that's the whole basis of it. That was the whole point of it.
It's you need to look at your actions. I don't know why I put my hand like I'm playing a fucking piano, but you need to look at your actions, and more importantly, your habits. Shout out to the power of habit right there. Fire book, 10 out of 10 recommend, because you might think you're making a change, but unless you change your habits, nothing changes.
Yep.
You can say, oh, you know what? I'm going to save money this week. But if when you're driving, you see that Starbucks, there's another $9 spent. There's another $15 spent. Oh, well, you know what? I could eat. Bam, you go to fucking Panera, which I just ate at. That's another $12. Like, things stack up. So you got to look at your habits. And something really good that I like in the book, Power of Habits, is you have to understand your cues. Understand what triggers you to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like when we were little kids, right? And you see the golden arches at McDonald's, that triggers you to ask for McDonald's. That's their entire marketing scheme.
Yeah.
That's why it's red and yellow, because those are the yellow stands out and red is a color of hunger and anger. So these are habits that are ingrained in you. You have to understand what causes the habit to start. Some people see a nice shirt and have the habit of thinking, I can't live without this shirt. Mm-hmm. So bam, money gets spent. And this, I realize I'm very money focused so far. This is with anything, whether it's you're sick of procrastinating, but you scroll on TikTok every time. Then you have to understand, all right, you unlock your phone, that's triggering the habit of opening TikTok. Delete the fucking app.
Yeah.
So.
There's definitely workarounds. I think a good way to go about changing habits is to ask yourself before you do the habit that you know you really want to do, is asking yourself, what did I do to deserve this? I think that's a good rule of thumb. Because, like, for example, let's just use food, for example. You want to go eat you want to eat 3 pints of ice cream in one sitting. Okay. Ask yourself, what did I do today to deserve these 3 pints? What on my daily goals list did I check off? Did I check all of them off that now I get to do this? I deserve this? No? Okay, well, I'm not going to have it. Obviously, 3 pints is an exaggeration, but still.
Yeah.
It's like that same premise. Okay. Oh, you know what? I want to go out partying with my friends. Okay, what did I do to deserve this? what did I do this week? What did I accomplish to justify me going out and partying? Right? It's not to say that you can't have a social life, but you have to be selective with the things you do. And that's how you kind of go around changing your habits. Because if you're just like, oh, but then I have no social life, so I'm going to keep going out. But then during the week, you're complaining about not having money. Whose fault is that? You're the issue. Like, you are the problem. It's not that drinks are too expensive. It's not inflation. It's not that you don't make enough money. It's that you don't know how to budget your money. You don't know how to have discipline with your money or how to use it. And I think, like you're talking about that book, I think a good, and I haven't read it yet, but I think like one of the key factors in just like anything in life that I've become to notice more and more and more, it's just human nature. Once you understand human nature and you understand how it works, you could then use that to like go backwards against it, in a sense. Like, you understand, okay, this is typical for humans to do this, this, and this. Now that I'm aware of it, I can be more conscious to not do this, this, and this, which will give me the opposite result, which is the result I actually want. And I think a good way of getting there is just asking yourself before you do something, what did you do? What did I do to deserve this? You know?
Like, so, that's what I wrote down to what you said. It's like delaying gratification. Maybe, you know, you want to go out for Thirsty Thursdays, right? But instead, you know what? Nah. You know, I didn't do too well at work today, right? Or maybe I've been slacking at the gym. Go to the gym the next 2 days, and if the chance right, I'll go on Saturday, right? Just that alone will do so much for you, because it's like you're also training yourself to work for the reward. And it's like naturally ingrained in us, where if we don't have to do the work to get the 3 pints of ice cream, well, guess what? Everybody's going to take it. Nobody wants to do the work for that.
Yeah.
But if you can train yourself to that work reward aspect, that's a habit that you can build that'll transpire into not just like having like the reward like ice cream, but like you won't eat anything else unless you've worked out, or you won't spend money unless you've made money. Like it's
you create a discipline.
Yes, discipline is so important.
Yep. It no longer becomes like a chore. It becomes a lifestyle. That's what you want. You want it to become a lifestyle. And that's like with anything. Like, again, the gym is a perfect example, which we always bring up. It's, okay, it's not, I have to go to the gym. It's like, fuck it, I'm going to go to the gym. And when I'm done with the gym, okay, maybe I deserve to watch an hour of TV before bed. I didn't go to the gym. I don't deserve shit today. I'm not eating what I want. I'm not watching what I want. Not doing what I want. I failed today. Tomorrow's a new day, but today I failed. I lost. So now I gotta pick up the slack for tomorrow. That mindset will change everything. But too many people live, again, comfortable. They'd rather just be like, they would do that for like a month, let's say. And then one day, opportunity comes up and it's like, go to the gym, go do this. Probably something they've already done before in their life. I'm gonna go do this. So, all right. Now you just broke the habit. So now the next time it comes again, because you did it once, it's gonna be a lot easier to do it the second time. Yeah. And then it keeps getting easier and easier, and then before you know it, you're back to square one.
That's actually another chapter of The Power of Habit, where it says habits are never destroyed. You don't destroy a habit. You just layer a new habit on top of it. So, like you said, right? Let's say you build the habit of going to the gym every day, let's say. But before that, you had the habit of, when you got home from work, putting on Netflix, right? Maybe you watch like 30 minutes. And let's say that's your habit. And then you start going to the gym, right? And now you build the habit of every day going to the gym. That habit of getting home and turning on Netflix is still there. The neurons are still connected for that habit. You just put something else on top of it. So when you break the going to the gym every day for the first time, and you get home and let's say you tell yourself, I'm only going to do it for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes before I go to the gym. Guess what? You peeled the layer and your brain went down to the next habit, which was to get back to watching Netflix. And that becomes the new top layer because your brain is like a computer. It's trying to process everything. Once it sees you broke one, it's like, next one, bam. All right, now we're watching Netflix. And tomorrow when you get home from work, it's going to revert to the Netflix as opposed to going to the gym.
Yeah, because it gets that hit of dopamine that it was lacking before. It's like if you stop eating sugar and then all of a sudden you eat one donut, the only thing you're going to crave is sugar. Anything with sugar, you're going to just want it because your body's like, oh shit, I forgot about this. This is great. And then you get that big dopamine hit. And now your body's constantly chasing that giant dopamine hit, that feeling. But it never comes back again. But you created the habit of trying to get it, and now you just don't stop trying to get it.
It's true.
And again, I think that all plays into the main topic of like you are where you deserve to be, because at the end of the day, you're making those conscious decisions. Whether you want to admit it or not, you're the one making that choice.
I gotta find this
Whatever your physical health is, that's your fault, whether good or bad. Your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, whatever, any type of health you want to think of, if it's not where you want it to be, it's your fault. And if it's not where you want it to be, it's probably your body telling you to do something different to get it to where it needs to be. Like your body's, if you're not happy, that's your body telling you whatever you're doing right now is not working, do something different. That's like rule of thumb number 1 is like, I don't feel good. I don't feel healthy. My body's telling me I need to do something. I need to change my habit. Maybe start working out. My body's telling me I'm sad. Maybe whatever I'm doing in my day-to-day life is not making me happy. So I should go find things that make me happy. If, I don't know, anything, like literally anything, it's your body's telling you, yo, this isn't it. Let's change it up. Let's find something new. Let's go do something that makes us happy.
The body communicates, man.
The body definitely communicates 100%.
In many ways. Like, see, I think this is going to be a little hot take here, but I look at things like you mentioned before. If you're feeling depressed, right? If you were to look at it as, all right, let me find what my body's trying to tell me by me feeling this way instead of, oh, I need medicine right away, you would make better lifestyle changes. Now, if you were, like, there's a doctor I follow on Instagram, and he posts a lot of, if this is what you're feeling, these are possible outcome causes for that, right? Like, this is why I started actually implementing more magnesium vitamins just to test it out, is because, like, if you feel low on energy, it could be many things, lack of sleep, whatever, but I didn't know that lack of magnesium is actually tied to decrease in energy. Same thing with vitamin D and things like that. The lack of energy, that's your body communicating with you. Like, hey,
it's deficient.
Yeah, like, hey, we don't have enough energy, sleep more, or get in the sun more, we need more of this. Like, it's all communications. And I think the body's so, like, beautifully engineered. Like, shout out evolution, bro.
Yeah. I forget what vitamin it is. I think it's vitamin A. It's for your eyes. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, just correct me. But, like, even something like that where, like, if you start becoming deficient, let's say it's vitamin A that's for your eyes. I think it is, but I could be wrong. Let's say you start becoming deficient in vitamin A. The first thing you realize is your vision. Your vision is not as good as it used to be. And that's because your body has to extract that resource for it to keep functioning. So now it's compensating and taking it from other parts of your body. It's the same thing, like, if you overwork one muscle, and then let's say, like, my right pec is fatigued, but my left pec feels good. I'm only going to really be working on my left pec because it's going to overcompensate for my right lacking, which is not a good thing.
Very dangerous.
But that's, like, to go and play into more of what we're saying is, like, when one starts lacking, the rest starts compensating for it, and eventually those start to hurt for it as well. And then before you know it, everything hurts. And then that's when you feel like, well, there's that. And then you give up on top of it, or you go into it with a defeated mindset or a victim mindset, and then you go straight down. Then it gets real hard to get up.
That's one thing there. Avoid self-loathing, man. Yeah. Avoid dwelling on yourself. Just look at your situation and be like, all right, what can I fix? What do I have to fix? I want to say this quote. I've said this quote on the podcast before, but on the topic of habits, it's very fitting, where it says, choose wisely. Your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny. Be very careful of what you tell yourself and what you choose to do, because you might not even realize it, but all that down talk removes the confidence of you, publicly speaking. So instead of becoming a great podcaster, a great YouTuber, or a public speaker, you become a what could have been, because you had the habit of talking down on yourself and not allowing yourself to progress. Same thing with if you want to improve your body or your finances, but you keep telling yourself, yo, I'm so fat, oh, yo, I'm so broke, or oh, I'm so skinny, whatever. You're not giving yourself the confidence to get yourself out of your comfort zone, to get in the gym, or to learn finances, or to just start eating better. So you're closing yourself off from what could be and choosing to remain what you are and what you fear of being and what you don't want to be. You're locking yourself in. I like that. I like that quote a lot, just because it's so simple, but for me at least, it's so true.
Yeah, no, it is 100% true. I think like the perfect example of that too is like the majority of people focus on the negativity, the negative things. Very rarely do people only focus on positives, because it's easy for things to go bad, like real easy for things to go bad. So naturally people just only focus on like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not fit, I don't have enough money, I don't have that car, I don't have that bag, I don't have those shoes, I don't have that. Instead of just looking at what they actually do have and be like, damn, I got this. This is like, man, cool. I like this. And then all of a sudden, everything changes. And instead of being down and being down about being down, you start to focus on, oh shit, even though I'm down, look at what I have. And then suddenly you start to get more and more and more. And then you're not down no more. You're just up. And you're like, oh shit, I'm up, and look what I have now that I'm up. And everything changes. And that doesn't necessarily mean finances, but anything, mental health, physical health, again, overall health, anything, literally anything in life.
Something I've been implementing in my life more the last like a few months to a year or so is when you have to improve something, instead of saying, oh, I'm too skinny, I need to get bigger, it's I get the opportunity to get bigger. I get the opportunity to be the person who goes from too skinny to getting bigger, or the person who goes from being fat to being skinny. And then it kind of like changes that to where you kind of get this like slight dopamine at the idea of going through the work. And that simple change of wording from, damn, I'm too skinny, but I want to get bigger, to, yo, I get the opportunity to get big and be that guy. Yo, let's go. Like that is, and it's just a change of wording.
Yeah.
But it's
a mindset. Yeah, it's all mental.
It's all mental, baby.
But no, it goes back to your point from before. Like, people are just lazy and they don't want to put the work in. Like, if you're down in any aspect in life, it's easy to be like, you know what, I'm down, like this is it. But if you actually like worked through that and then got to where you wanted to be, one, you probably didn't think you would get there, but then you get there and you're like, bro, shit's great. Like, this is great. I don't want to ever lose this feeling. So then you actually do what you need to do to keep that. Like for me, for example, at one point I was working out, I got injured. I had an injury that kind of like held me back, and then I just went like straight down. I went from like being 180 to being like 165. Like I was skinny. And like I had thankfully, like, I don't know, I've always been this way my whole life. Not to really talk about myself or brag, but in this moment, it was like a very clear awakening for me. Like, my whole life, I've always been this way, but I remember one day, I was like 165 pounds. I had like no muscle anymore. I lost it all. And I was like down for that day because I don't get down for too long. But I was down and I was like, damn, man, like, I lost everything. I'm mad skinny. Damn. Like, I felt the mindset of like, I'm just going to accept this and be a victim. And I remember literally telling myself, no, fuck that shit. I'm going to go back to the gym. And then I went back to the gym, and then I got the strongest I ever got in my life. And like, all it was just a mindset. It was just like, no, I'm not giving up. I'm not succumbing to it. Even at work, like now, like this is somewhat new to me. I mean, I did something similar, but it's still not to this grand scale. And like, even like today, I had the same thought where I had to make phone calls. And before I even made one phone call, I was like hesitant. I was like trying to procrastinate it. And I stopped and I realized, I was like, I want this. How do I expect myself to get this if I'm not gonna do this?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm a little harsher on myself. Maybe for some people they're different. But I was like, I don't know, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Go in there and fucking make the calls. And then I fucking made the amount of calls I needed to make. I blew that shit out the water. Like, I think I needed to make. Oh, actually no. Well, I didn't have to make 75 today, but I made 75.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I like did way more on the side, like of other things I had to do. Like I did everything I needed to do, all in the day. But in the beginning of the day, I had to have that self-realization of like, no, fuck that. I want to be good at this. This is what it takes. And like, yeah, cool. It feels awkward. It's a little weird. Might be a little scary, might be this, might be that. But if I want to succeed at what I want and get what I want and be where I want, I gotta do what I gotta do. Whether I like it or not, it's not gonna change it. So fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, dude. One, it's like when you're like, damn, I gotta do it. It's like it's good that I have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wrote down, shout out Brendan Carter. I feel like we've referenced him many times. You have a goal that you want to get to, but you have to change who you are to get to that goal. Like, you got to get past what you don't want to do. And one of the things he says is set goals that cause you to change as a person. The person you are today can't be the same millionaire, right? You don't have the habits, you don't have the mindset of that millionaire. But you can turn yourself into the person that does. Turn that dopamine to where you want to go, right?
Yeah.
Connect the dopamine to the goal. And start improving yourself and build yourself up. Because realistically, if you want to be able to bench like 205, well, guess what? You got to get into the gym in order to bench 205. You got to build yourself up. You got to change the habits. You got to change who you are. And it's like you in that moment where it's like where you tell yourself like, man, I ain't no bitch. I'm gonna do this. You're changing yourself off your comfort line and moving yourself onto a different line of, nah, we're going to do this. And now that's who you become, the person that's just going to do it. Bam, bam, bam. And then eventually you're going to have to make another change. And then bam, bam, bam. It's set goals that cause you to change as a person.
That's good. I like that one. Set goals that cause you to change. What I really like about this job, too, I think sales in general for anyone, it's like, it's funny. Well, everyone knows who Andrew Tate is now. But way before I heard Andrew Tate bring it up before. He was like, one of the best jobs he was saying for guys specifically, because he was talking to males, but he was saying like one of the best jobs one of the best jobs he says for young men to get into is sales, because it forces you to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It puts pressure on you where you have two options. You either succumb to the pressure and be a little bitch, you go back to exactly where you were, deserving where exactly you need to be, which is a brokey, as he says, or you come up to the pressure and you make the pressure create a diamond,
True.
a gem, and then you become something from it. I was like, yeah. I remember I came across the clip not too long ago, and I thought about that. I was like, he's right.
Yeah, he is.
Pressure could either break it or create it.
That's fire, because true, pressure makes diamonds.
Yep. And pressure also breaks shit too.
True.
One or the other.
See, I like Andrew Tate a lot because it's like something that I watched recently that resonated with me with Andrew Tate is he says when he feels stress, right? Like right now, if I'm stressing my situation, or if you're stressing your situation or where you are in life, he says, oh shit, I'm stressed. That just means it's time for me to perform. It means it's time for me to get out and do shit, to unstress myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Stress is calling for a change. Now you gotta go out and do the shit to make the change.
Exactly. Stress is just saying I'm not comfortable with where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is somewhat good. But then you gotta do something about it too. But yeah, I don't know, it depends. Although, like, I don't know, for me, I don't relate to it as much. I don't know, I just don't get stressed.
Mm-hmm.
I just really don't. I think a lot of it, my whole life, I just don't give a fuck. There's just so much I don't really give a fuck about. Just like, it is what it is. I don't know. I feel like I see the bigger picture in life. Like, bro, I'm just like a little cell on a floating thing in the middle of a nothing that no one knows where it comes from, where it ends, nothing. I'm not gonna stress about fucking, I didn't make enough phone calls today. No, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm gonna do what's expected, right? I'm gonna do what's expected for myself. That's why. But am I gonna be stressed if I don't, because I think my boss is gonna yell? No, fuck no. I'm just, if anything, I'm putting the pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Because I am holding myself to a standard.
See, I think 9 in 10 things us as people stress is shit that we imposed on ourselves.
100% is.
Like, I remember way back when, right? When our grandfather was told he was sick, right? And I saw my mom and everybody stressing, right? Like, obviously, yeah, that's something that you would stress and, like, be fearful of. But it's like, I remember saying, like, yo, y'all acting like he died.
Yeah.
You guys are stressing something that hasn't happened. It's literally all in your head. Like, damn, like, chill out. Like, I get it. Feel a kind of way, but chill.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember, like, Liz was taken aback. Like, what? Like, and then it resonated. It's like, yo, in reality, nothing's happened. You thought of a scenario that happened, and that's why you're feeling the way you do.
Yeah.
And that's with anything. That right there, just the, yo, wait, nothing's happened yet. Let me take a chill pill. Will stop you from panicking. Will stop you from anxiety. Because, like we always say, it's all mental. It's happening up here.
Yeah. Most
things aren't as bad as we think they are. But the pressure that we tie to it, what we tell ourselves about it, oh my God, you know, I failed one class in college. I'm a failure. My parents are going to disown me. I'm going to have to live on the street and shake ass for money. Shout out OnlyFans. Like, it's not as bad. Shout out Russ's book. It's all in your head.
It's all mental.
It is. It's
all mental. And my whole thing, too, when it comes to, like, stressing and all that, too, is like, okay, if I complain, if I stress, if I get angry, if I start yelling and curse, if I start doing all these negative things, will it change the outcome? If the answer is no, then there's no need for me to do any of that. If the answer is yes, okay, then maybe. But if the answer is no, if I complain, if I stress, if I do this, if I do this, if I do that, if I do all those things or any one of those things, if that's not going to change, one, what's already happened, or two, what's going to happen, or what could happen, why am I wasting my time? Obviously, it's out of my control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just keep controlling what I can control and let the rest be what it's got to be. I think that's why I don't have any of those encounters ever.
Mm-hmm.
Or very, very rarely. Because, like, I just understand, like, okay, this isn't changing anything.
Yeah.
So why am I wasting my time? Oh, yeah, it may suck, but it's not going to change the outcome. It's not doing nothing beneficial for me by doing those actions or feeling those emotions.
The goal or the solution just moves further away when you complain.
100%.
there's a member at the gym, right? Because anytime somebody asks me, oh, how are you? My response is always saying like, oh, I'm good, I'm amazing, can't complain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he always says either good because nobody gives a fuck or good because nobody's gonna listen. And he's like, one time I asked him, like, why is that always your response? He was like, because if you complain, like, nobody wants to hear you complain. Nobody wants to hear anybody complain. Nobody gives a fuck.
That's true.
And when he said that, I was like, yo, I fuck with that. Because it's true.
Yeah.
He always says like, yo, because I don't think, if you want to complain about something, before you do that, ask yourself, is it in your control? If it is in your control, don't complain, just fix it. And if it's not, don't complain about it because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep. And if it is in your control and you don't do nothing about it, well, congratulations, you're exactly where you deserve to be.
Exactly. Bam. That was fire. Yep. That was a dope Tyrone. I can tell you've been working on your sales skills.
Listen, I got nice, low-key. Well, I shouldn't say nice, but I got way better than how I was before. I've learned how to ask more questions.
See,
I've learned that, at least in sales, so far, right? Because maybe next month I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about? But as of right now, all I've learned is that, like, humans are going to act like humans.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to do is understand how humans act, and that's it. You got them. Because they don't even understand how they act. That's why there's psychologists and psychiatrists and all these doctors and stuff. They don't even, you don't even understand yourself. Not even they understand themselves sometimes. So it's like, when it comes to sales, it's literally, you don't even have to give a pitch. You just say what your product is, and then you just ask questions. It's literally like a therapy session. Like in therapy, they don't tell you, oh no, I think this is what's wrong with you. They just ask you questions. And then you just figure out the answer on yourself. Like by yourself. And they're like, well, there you go. You figured it out. all I'm doing is just asking you questions, and you're coming to the self-realization. It's like, oh shit, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh this, oh that. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Literally just ask yourself questions.
Yep.
Why am I not happy? Oh, because of this, and this. Why is this, and this, like, affecting me so much? Oh, maybe because this, and this, and that. Interesting. Okay, well, what can I do differently that'll make it stop? This, and this? Why am I not doing that?
Yep.
This, and this? Okay, now I know exactly what's wrong and how to fix it. Problem solved.
See.
All you did was just ask questions. People just don't question enough things.
Be your own therapist.
Literally. All you have to do is just ask questions. Not to be cynical, right? But just be curious. If you ask questions, you will more than likely find the answer or a solution. Like literally, ask yourself in that little hypothetical, you just figured out what's wrong. You figured out the problem and how to resolve it.
Mm-hmm.
No one told you what was wrong with you. You didn't even tell yourself what was wrong with you. All you did was just ask questions. And you came to the self-realization of like, oh shit, this is what I'm doing wrong.
I think part of it is that we underestimate ourselves so much. Like,
no, that's like the biggest part of it. Self-doubt. The biggest limitation on you is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We self-limit more than anyone else puts limits on us. Like, we are our biggest stoppers. We are our biggest haters, to be honest. We will stop the progression of our lives because of what we think about ourselves.
See, I'm glad you brought up this whole conversation, because one of the things I did want to touch on is tips to improve the situation that you're not happy that you're in. And it's really just like 3 main things, just worded differently, where it's like, these are a few habits that if you can implement, it might not change your life entirely, but it'll put you on a trajectory to change your life. And like one of them, the first thing, because this is one of the biggest things for me besides the gym, even though that's on there, is if you're not happy with your current situation, start reading, start listening to books, start physically reading books, learn some skills. Competence builds confidence. And we haven't really touched on confidence yet in today's episode, but that shit's fucking important.
Yeah, but it comes from that. It comes from doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like proving to yourself, oh shit, I can do this. Confident.
and once you realize you can do something, you're like, yo, what else can I do?
Yeah. You start to doubt yourself a little less. Or you have this self-limiting doubts, but you have the ability to be like, oh, I've done it before. Even though I hear this voice in my head, I'm gonna still push through it. I'm not gonna listen to it. I can hear it, but I'm not listening to it. There's a difference.
It's true. Hearing and listening.
Very
different things. The second one I wrote down is start saving some fucking money. Trust me. Your financial health, even though money isn't everything, it's still a piece of the pie. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're stressing money every single week, you don't have the free time to think about ways to improve yourself because you're focused on your finances.
Yeah.
Trust me, start saving some fucking money. That leeway, for example, I'm currently reading The Psychology of Money, right? And it talks about a musician who was broke but passionate about music, but he wasn't a musician yet. He just was refining his skills. And he looked at his finances and found, all right, I typically spend $800 to $1,000 a month. And he worked at a restaurant, I believe it was, saved up $12,000 over the course of a year or so, or 2 years, quit his job and stopped working entirely for 1 year, spending the same amount of money. He didn't change his spending habits. He just saved up enough to have the year off. And in that year, did enough shows and gigs and things like that to get the next year too. He got the second $12,000 and wound up building an entire career in music. But it's because he took the time to save the money to give himself the leeway to operate and take the risk. There's a lot of things we all want to do, but we just think of, damn, but the money. Money can seem daunting when you don't understand finances or your personal finances or the world or the economy. But if you take some time to read some books on it, it'll slowly simplify itself.
I think it just all ties back into one thing I've been saying a lot is just human nature.
Mm-hmm.
We are creatures of habit.
It's true.
Once we do something once, it's very likely we'll do it again.
It's true. Every new act you make, and this is a fact, every new action you take is a new neural connection built in the brain.
Yep.
Even just the act of taking a new act is a neural connection.
Yeah.
Your brain knows how to handle the uncertainty.
If you're a righty and you brush your teeth with your left hand one day, first it's going to feel weird. And then a month later it's going to feel normal.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be like, oh, it's normal. It's not that big of a deal.
It's true. The third thing, well, the next two kind of go hand in hand, is if you're not happy with your current situation, get your ass in the gym. You knew this was going to be on this fucking list. The gym builds so much outside of just your physical health. It builds discipline, everything, control, happiness. Because when you start seeing some progress, you start feeling really fucking good. You want to talk about dopamine? When that first time you look in the mirror and notice maybe a little cut or something, oh my God, it's like you did a line of fucking coke. I remember when I started working out and I got and I started seeing progress, I started working out even more. So that rate of progress, instead of just going up, it was phew.
No.
I wanted to work out even more. I wanted to get better even more. And in hand with that is you start working out, you start realizing, I don't want my work to go to waste. You start eating a little cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that McDonald's doesn't taste as good anymore.
You become more self-conscious about the things you put in your body.
It's true. So now you became self-conscious about what you put in your body. You start eating cleaner food. What happens when you start eating cleaner food? You got to make the food that you're going to eat that's clean. Well, guess what? Now, not only are you improving your body, not only are you eating better, now you're saving money. Now, you pile that on with the books you've been reading on finances. Well, guess what? The money you're saving, you're putting towards something. You're being better with it. Now your financial health is improving, your mental health is improving, and your physical health is improving. Those three right there, you improve on these three things, and your life doesn't change, you got to go see a doctor, bro. Like, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Because I feel if you ask anybody what's stressing them in their life, it's one of those three. It's either money, their body, or something in their head. The human psyche. These three simple changes, well, let me not. Simple, not easy, right? These three changes, I promise you, pay a bigger dividend than you can imagine.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything left to say. You got anything else you want to say?
Man, I'm good, man. Pretty much touched on all this. This is how you know, like, I wish the camera could see. Besides the notes we had for the episode, I've been taking notes on this. I'm like, yo, I like what he said about delaying gratification. Yeah, yo, human nature. Yo, discipline, change goals. Like, yo.
Yeah.
This, as much as we're talking to you guys, we're really talking to ourselves, too.
Yeah. Literally, understanding life for humans is just understanding how humans act.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've said in the last couple episodes, there's a reason why philosophers from the Roman Empire were saying things that still apply till today's time.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't speaking this magical wonders and they were like these crazy people from a different universe that knew everything. No, they just understood human nature.
Yep.
They saw how humans acted and they knew this is how humans act. And that's it. And they just wrote about how to not be so not how to not act like a human so much.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you're human, you're gonna act like a human, but not how to break the pattern of being in those like constant cycles. It's literally all it is.
And we
Seneca,
praise the people.
Marcus Aurelius, Plato, Socrates, they all just understood human nature. That's literally it. Talk to any therapist, human nature.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to people that do sales, human nature.
Yep.
Talk anything that like you have to interact with humans with. All it is just understanding how humans interact.
It's true.
Once you understand how a human acts as a human, then you understand how to go about things, and everything changes at that point. And the easiest way to learn is to just ask questions.
Ask questions.
Literally, why?
Another note I'm taking. Ask questions.
Yeah. Not too many people don't ask questions. That's the problem. They just take things at face value and run with it. Okay. That's it. No, ask why. Why does it have to be that way? Again, not to be cynical, but be curious at the same time. But yeah, you are where you deserve to be.
It's true.
You are literally where you deserve to be. And it's all based on your actions and your choices that you make day in, day out. It's not, oh, today it's okay, but like next month I'll do it and then boom, perfect. No, it's today matters, and so does tomorrow, and the day after that, and so did yesterday. So, anyways, I've got enough to say.
Yeah, I'm good.
With that being said, episode 19, Lost Boyz Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below whether you agree, disagree, what parts you agree with, what parts you disagree with, your opinions, anything.
If you have any other tips. Yeah,
any other tips, anything you'd like to hear us talk about, make sure to turn the post notifications on so you get alerted every Thursday at 12 p.m. when we post. Follow the TikTok, Lost Boyz Podcast. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's down there too.
Links below.
Yeah.
Episode 19 in the books.
Yep, you're exactly where you deserve to be. Just don't forget that. And if that hurt your feelings, good. You're exactly where you need to be.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace.